ancient India system or the model where the Varnas that we talk about, where there is the Brahmins, there are Kshatriyas, there are Vaishyas, and there are Shudras. So these were the four categories of occupation or the Varna system that ancient India had, and each of them were very clearly linked to each other. Like say Brahmin, who's it's not just about birth in a Brahmin family. It is about what karma you do as a Brahmin, right? So if even after having a birth as a Brahmin, if you are not delivering the duties of a knowledge seeker or a knowledge giver person should have, then you are not a Brahmin, by the way. So the ancient India model was a more of a karma based structure of society, which was keen on prioritizing duties rather than rights, and where the Brahmins were the knowledge seeker and knowledge giving people who were not supposed to be inclined to a materialistic life, but they were to be dependent on their own security over the Kshatriyas, which is the second section. The Kshatriyas were very powerful, who were supposed to take and they can exert power. The king or the ruler is supposed to follow the Shastra Dharma, which is about defense. It's very important part of the Indian structure society, ancient India structure, and following Shastra Dharma meant that he as has the duty and obligation to protect dharma with offense and defense, not just defense but also offense, right? So he had the power of weapons. He could execute that power, that particular section, but then he is not supposed to be inclined into again money making activities. For that, he was supposed to depend on the taxes collected from the third section of the society, which are called as Vaishyas. Now the Vaishyas would take the risk, would get security from the Kshatriyas, but the Vaishyas is not supposed to exert power or use weapons, right? So this is how the entire society structure was distributed in a fashion where each section was dependent on the other section in a very beautiful way. And this is how the karmas defined how you operate, and it was not about the birth. These are some kind of distortions and fake narratives which are being peddled that by birth discrimination. This was not discrimination, right? So I believe that when India goes back to the Sanatan model of economics, by the way, that's the second book that I'm working on. When India goes back or transitions from this current position to there, automatically the kind of defense and this perspective of dharma will take prevalence over all other useless things that have gotten from the Western templates. Specifically because if you look at the ancient India structure of governance specifically, you will find that India lost out in front of the invaders with only one problem, and that problem was that India was the most modern society at that point in time, with complete autonomy to all the Janapada structure, Janapadas that we had in India. So it was like it's a basket or a bunch of different flowers. That was the kind of society India had become, wherein there was no central hold to hard power. I mean, the Janapada structure could not consolidate hard power for defense at the center, which is why we lost out to the invaders. So it was not that we were weak, or it is not that we were unknowledgeable or something like that. The problem was we were very modern in that day and age, that we had given so much liberties to the Janapada structure that the hard power could not be consolidated at the center. This is why we lost out in front of invaders. And beware, this particular government has the primitive, brutal nation state concept of the Western template right now. So the kind of power consolidation that we have of hard power right now in Delhi is astonishing. So if any enemy power is going to try any kind of a mischief with India, they are going to be beaten black and blue. So in terms of defense, you are going to have you are going to have tremendous amount of hard power emanating out of Delhi, which means that we are looking at the entire Akhand Bharat region to become responsible for, which is going to extend from Saudi Arabia this side to Laos, Cambodia on the other, in terms of net security provision, which is why it makes total sense why United States defense companies want to come down to India.